Guys, I am 1 minute late. I am sorry. I am 1 minute late. Hey, Sarah, I love you. Hey, Deborah, Halloween baby, Peas, Terry, Tiny T. Earth, if you're still here, I love you a long time. I hope everybody's having a good Saturday. It is cold here in Virginia, in case y'all didn't know. Cold. Also, if you are one of my Big Brother fans, they just came back from veto. Hey, Mindful, who won the veto? I can't tell. Can you? I can't tell who won. It looks like Jag. Hey, Freeside, my love. It looks like Jag might. Don't hold me to this. I don't know. Ocean Tide, how are you? Happy Saturday. Let me see. I'm so it's cold here. It's absolutely freezing. Next week it'll be 112. Come on. Hey, Peach. Love you, Peach. I love you, Ghost. I brought my phone back out here. Y'all remember the last time I used my phone so I could watch chat? I started talking to the phone, but I ain't gonna do that again. Yeah, tonight in like a cool way is it's baffling. And every other adjective. I mean, this case. 31 years old. Hey, Jim Gator, man. 31. No, wasn't either one of them two. Hey, the freaking, how are you? This thing is 31 years old, and it is no closer to being solved than it was the day it happened. And there are suspects that I will read you the list of suspects, and I won't give you all of their offenses, as a whole, as their whole portfolio of crime. But I will read you one, and you're going to go, that's it. He did it. He did it. And then I'm going to go on to the next one, and you're going to go, wait a minute. Maybe he did it. And then I'm going to go on from there. And I learned something today. This is to be the second time I've covered this case. You're at the airport hotel. Oh, in Reno. I love Reno. I've been to Reno. I spent about a week in Reno. Way back. And me and my friend drove back. We flew out to Reno. We picked up a car and we drove it back across country. But we stayed in Reno about 4 days. Where did I stay? Dr. Peppermill. I can't remember. But I went to all the Goodwills and stuff. No, I just came on Texas, girl. I went to all of the Goodwills in Reno. Now, y'all remember it used to be back in the day that you had to dress up to go to a casino. You dressed up to go out, especially in a casino in Reno. You didn't just show up in your, robe and slippers, which you could probably do now. Not a problem. So they had all these vintage clothes that were I was dying. And then they had like lamps from where hotels would redo their lobbies and whatnot. There was like a 5.5, 6 foot table lamp. Of course, I couldn't buy it because I couldn't drive it back across country. That wouldn't have been good. I should have gotten it though. And then and whole sets of china. This was the weirdest thing to me too. Whole sets, like, my mother, when she got married, she picked out her china, and for her wedding, people gave her different pieces of the china. That's not done here very much anymore. But there would be complete sets of china with every single obscure serving dish with it. I would have bought all of them. Hey, Midnight Baker. I'd have bought all of them. That was right when I was starting my vintage phase. I think Reno did. Oh, then I also bought a Chanel pocketbook from the Goodwill. $20. Yeah. Hold on, guys. I have to make sure I bring this up because I don't want to miss anything. Because when I go over to the pictures, I can't see you. And I have a lot of pictures. which will help, it will help. All right, there we go. So let's say I'll wait till like 9:10. 9:10. Now this isn't going to be like last week where we had abruptly, well, it's going to stop abruptly, but this is a lot of information. Well, is it though? It is a lot of information. I learned I learned today that, well, I'll tell y'all what I learned when we go through it. Tell you what, we go through it. I learned something today, and then I've gone back to my notes from over a year ago because I had a question about something, and I went back on my notes, and it was there. I had I answered my own question a year ago. Hey, Mama Cannoli. Hello, traitors. How are you? Hello, Jennifer. Y'all know I have all my stuff lined up over here. I got my tea, my ice, my notes. My hair's dead. The makeup's on. I'm so glad you're here. I appreciate y'all here. I really do. I know this isn't, I know a lot of people just stopping by to say hi, and that's great. Thank you. But, this is the stuff I love. I love this stuff, and I probably shouldn't, but I would. Let me get all my stuff here. All right. I redid that, so I don't need that. There hasn't been a whole lot of YouTube nonsense on the streets. I stayed up last night and watched Traitors for I don't know how long. I went to sleep with Traitors in my ear. I sure did. And I'm looking for Peggy. I need Peggy to be okay. I haven't talked to her, seen her in 2 weeks. I need her to be okay. Just drop by and say, I'm alive. Oh, I didn't put my lipstick on. Hold on. Let me get my lip plumper. You're listening, but Texas girl, I appreciate it. You love true crime? I do too. And this is I always just cover the old stuff because, as we know, the new stuff gets covered ad nauseum by people. So these are I wanted to also think about I did a while back, and this isn't a mystery, but, well, it is kind of a mystery to me. The Amityville horror, not the ghost stuff, but the actual murders. I did a thing on them way back, a long time ago. Hey, Jen. And I have a lot of questions that weren't answered through the trial of Butch DeFeo. There are things like, hey, Rain Girl, thank you for coming. They're in the, if I showed you the house, the way the house is positioned in that neighborhood. So you have a house right here facing you. And there's a house right here facing you, right? Well, their house went sideways and faced the end of their house, faced the road. It wasn't, hey, Kathy. It wasn't, it was sideways. And you had these houses that were kind of close to it. There were how many blasts from that rifle? It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blasts that no neighbor heard anywhere. None, didn't hear it. What are you talking about? That's weird to me. All the victims were on their, hey, Rachel, all the victims were on their stomach sleeping, but none were aroused or sitting up. I think his father actually might have done some moving, but not a lot. All of them were sleeping on their stomach. Dawn DeFeo, if you go up to that house, so you had the first main part, and then the second part, you had the parents' bedroom, the boys' bedroom, and another girl's bedroom. So that was 3. This up at the top where those windows are, it was Butch DeFeo's room over here and his daughter, his daughter, Butch DeFeo's bedroom and his sister Dawn's on the top floor. She had gunpowder on her gown. So to me, and I asked my friend Lavender Sunday and my friend Angelo, because they know about guns, how did she get, because it's Butch DeFeo's claim that Dawn shot the family, and that she turned the gun on him. When he got there and saw what she did, he turned the gun on her. She turned the gun on him, and he had to take it and kill her. Well, she had gunpowder residue on her gown, but the police just didn't even. I mean, I guess what does it matter? I don't know. That's always been the weirdest thing to me. I thought about covering that. That's a lot of information, though. That was a whole crazy ass family. The mother's father was in the mafia, so everything in that house he paid for, not her husband. Even though the father-in-law got him a great job at a auto showroom, car lot, and Butch. He didn't pay for anything. The father-in-law did. It's very interesting, Texas girl. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. They could hear a dog barking. The neighbors could hear a dog barking. All right. But couldn't hear 6, 7, 8 shots. I can't remember how many he used. And then I ran across actual photos. I did not share because Anyway, I don't know. We might do that closer to. Maybe we'll do that near Thanksgiving. Yeah, we'll do it during Thanksgiving. We'll do it during Halloween. It was always been weird to me. But there's never a big story on that part. It's always about the damn old things. They should have heard, because it was the houses are so close together. If you Google the Amityville whorehouse or, I can't remember the address. If you Google it, look down, you see that house is sideways, and those other things are really close, and nobody in the neighborhood heard a rifle. Come on now, don't. I'm not saying it was ghost related. I'm just saying that's awful strange that they didn't hear that. And Butch claims, that you met Lorraine Warren, who went the famous photograph of that little boy. Hey, Laura Lee. The famous that photograph of that kid, and that's what it is. Looking at one of those doors upstairs in that house. Do not get me started. I will be up for days, scared than hell. All right, I'm going to put these girls up here, and we're going to get started. We are going to get started. Let's see. Make sure I will have it over here. Waiting to see it. Hey, Tracy F. You. How are you? Stop doing that. It sounds so stupid. Yeah. Hey, Sarah. How are you? Oh, Sarah. I love the hell out of you. 2 shots for each parent, 1 shot for. Okay, there you go. I knew it was more than the 6, but I couldn't remember. And he is. It's kind of crazy. It's crazy. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Well, I know I can make it bigger. All right. Thank you. Sweet. All right, there we go. That is Cheryl Levitt, Susie Streeter, and Stacy McCall. These were the very first posters in yellow that went out about these 3 women. And they today, these women are frozen in time. Hey, Brantley. Great. Oh, yeah. So here's what I always like to do, right? I like to introduce you to the women because, you know, they were real. They were people. They had dreams. They had Cheryl Lovett was absolutely a tiger. And I mean that is um she was a cosmetologist. Her second husband, they got divorced, and all of his creditors came and looked for her, right? We were hitting her up for the money that she owed him. She was in deep financial problems. And then when she found him, she said, "There you go, Tracy. Thank you, my love. Thank you." But she worked and she worked and she worked, and she bought her house at 1717 East Delmar Street in Springfield, Missouri. Let's talk about them though. Let's see. I always want to know how they ended up in that house. How did all three of them end up in that home that night? And when we explore it, you know, we find we'll get there. We'll get there. So, these families were robbed of Stacy McCall's family. She has two older sisters. A mother that adores her still to this day, obviously, has worked herself to the bone trying to find her daughter, having a vigil every 5 years for all of them. I mean, it's a parent's worst nightmare. She didn't get a graduation from college. She didn't get a marriage. She didn't get children. She didn't get grandchildren from this sweet girl that everybody loved. Everybody loved all these people. There's no, there's no reason out there that people go, that's exactly it. But 31 years later, we're still here. So let's see. Cheryl Lovett was born on 11/1/44. She's got a birthday coming up. She was 47 at the time of her disappearance. She had been married twice and was the mother of two children. Bart, who was at the time about 28, 29, and Susie, who was 19.
In like a cool way.
Excuse me, Harry Styles. I hate it when you do that. She was also 5 foot tall and 110 pounds with short, light blonde hair and brown eyes at the time of her disappearance.
In like a cool way.
She had Bart, what is it, in 64, and then Susie, we'll just call her Susie. In 73, I told you about the divorce. And let me show you some of her. I love these pictures. Here's all three of them again in different poses. I'm sure that Cheryl Lovett is not happy with that pose, but there she is again. Look at her little smile. She's just like a little dynamo. Here's another photograph of her. Just a really sweet looking little lady, I mean, I'm older than she was when she disappeared. Hey, Half Pine, how are you? I'm sorry, I'm over here. I can't see, but I see you over here. Here she is, obviously early on, like those sweet little photographs that you come to. And there she is when she was probably a graduate or something like that, but really cute. Look at her hair. Obviously, she was on point with the style and all that. She dug herself out of a very financially horrifying divorce from a piece of crap. We'll show you him. We'll show you him too. Look at this 80s. You can't. That is the 80s right there, babies. Hey, Okie. Hey, Salty C. This is the 80s right here. Oh, yes. And I guarantee you the sofa they're on is probably the same exact pattern as one of those shirts. But there he is. That's the one. Here's her and Susie at Christmas. Susie, yeah, listen, that 90s hair. That hair came out of the 80s, and then it was so, yes, Tracy. That hair, I'm telling you, that was 80s, 90s right there. I remember I got mine as big as I could get it. In fact, we had a Duratio one time, and there was a guy down the street there was like a local pub that we'd always go to, And we had a derecho. I don't know if y'all know what that is, but it's a hell of a damn wind and rainstorm. Blew down trees everywhere. And my friend Chris lived down the street, and he came up to see if I was okay. Well, I had gotten out of the shower. My hair was like, wet. He was like, I've never seen you without your hair. That's like, yeah, yeah. Cheryl had a clientele of 250 for a cosmetologist, hairdresser. That's a lot of clients. 250. She worked at, I think it was something Attitudes. I can't remember what New Attitude Salon. She loved to repurpose furniture. So she was a little ahead of her time there. And they owned a little dog named Cinnamon, a little Yorkshire Terrier. I do not have a picture. I do might have a picture of the dog. I might have a picture of the dog. All right. Here is Susie Streeter. This is her daughter. She's 19. She had just graduated high school that day. She had some kind of a learning disability, and they say it was probably dyslexia. So she was 19 when she graduated because she had to stay back 1 or so years, but she was functioning and fine. She did not always like the good boys she loved. Hey, Celia, she liked the bad boys. And people, have made up stories about, oh, this happened because she owed $40,000 in drug money to a motorcycle gang. Sorry, a bicycle gang. And I'm thinking to myself, $40,000? I don't think so. She is a pretty girl. And when your mom is a cosmetologist / you always got the dyed hair. Welcome, Salty C. Thank you. You always have the dyed hair, and it's got to be big. Perm, love it. She was, let me see what she was. She was 5'2", 102 pounds, and she had shoulder-length blonde hair and brown eyes when she went missing. She was going to follow in her mother's footsteps and be a cosmetologist. So that's what she was going to do. Now, here's the house, and there they are. That's, you can see Cinnamon a little bit, but I'll show you Cinnamon. This is the house. Let's see Cinnamon. There's Cinnamon. Hello, Cinnamon. How the hell you doing? Look, little doggy. So that's her probably when she bought the house. They had only been in this house for 2 months before this happened. So she bought this house 2 months before this happened. So I'm sure that was their, photo of buying it. And then let's move on to Stacy McCall. Stacy McCall, and she's pretty. She was 18 at the time of her disappearance. She was 5'3", weighed 120 pounds, and had long, dark blonde hair with blue eyes. All right, so her family moved away because her dad got another job, and then they moved back. So her and Stacy got back to get, her and Suzanne, rekindled their friendship their senior year, and they had a pretty big circle of friends. It was quite nice. Here she is the night that she graduated. There's her mom and dad. And look at this hair again. Girl, look at that hair. Yes. Yes. I love it. Yeah, it's a cute pup. And that dog, oh, you're going to laugh when I tell you. Then we've got Janelle Kirby. We have Stacy, and we have Susie. This was taken on June 6th, 1992. They had graduated from Kickapoo High School, and another photograph that's frozen in time, quite frankly. Hey, MS. So after graduation, there were going to be parties. So Stacy went back to her house with her family, and They had dinner and took photos. You know how you do. Susie went back home with her mom. They called in a pizza. Sure, that was lovely. And they were all going to spend the night at Janelle Kirby's there on the left. They were going to go to her house. And she lived near Battle Creek. And this is going to be important in a minute. She lived down in Battle Creek. So the plan was that all of the friends were going to jump around to different parties and then spend the night at Janelle Kirby's, and then go to the first plan was to go to Whitewater. It's a water park in Branson the night they graduated. They all decided they didn't want to do that. So they were going to jump around to all the parties, stay with Janelle Kirby, and then get up in the morning, drive to Branson, and go to Whitewater water park. That was the plan. But, things changed. And so we're going to set it up. I'm going to give you a... All right. This is June 6th, 1992 in Springfield, Missouri. All right. 4 o'clock is when the graduation and whatnot commenced. And it ended near 6 o'clock. And that's when I told you everybody kind of went their own way. Between 8:15 and 8:30, the girls regroup at Janelle Kirby's house in Battlefield down there. Their plans were to go, I told you, to go to a few parties, then spend the night, and then go in the morning. So at 8:30, they go and they attend a party at a boy named Brian Joy's house. And then they thought, well, we might spend the night here. Anyway, then around 10:30, the girls both call their parents. Stacy calls her mom. Susie calls her mom. And they say, listen, we're going to stay at Janelle Kirby's for sure. We're doing that. All right. And they were like, okay, have fun. Don't do anything stupid. 11:15. Cheryl's on the phone with her friend. Cheryl's the mother. She's on the phone at 11:15 with her friend, and they're talking about redoing a, hey, Band of Memories, how you doing? They are talking about her redoing an armoire. She's painting it. Now, mind you, Cheryl now thinks she's done for the night, right? Her night is over. When she's talking and painting, Susie's not coming home. That's the plan, right? So that's the last time anybody spoke to Cheryl Levitt besides these girls. That's the last time we can pinpoint that she was even alive, was at 11:15 at night. That's kind of important. So between 11:30 and 1 a.m., they go to a second party down there near Battle Creek. They go back to Brian's house, Brian Joy, the party they'd been through previous. Found out there was too many people at his house. They went back to Janelle Kirby's because that was the plan. But Janelle Kirby had family staying there and all these other people were there and there just wasn't any room. So Susie says, let's just go to my house. They do. They leave at between 1:50 and 2 a.m. They leave Battlefield, And it says right here, 13-minute drive. So they were in the house by 2 a.m. No, maybe not 2 a.m. Maybe 2:30. Yeah, 2:30. So they drive their separate cars too. They both drove their own cars. So one followed the other, and they came home. It's gonna start getting stupid from here. I'm just gonna let you know. So now we can estimate between 2:30 and 3 o'clock that those girls were in that house. We know they were in the house because their cars were outside in the driveway. They had taken their makeup off. They could tell by the washcloths in the clothes hamper. Stacy had taken her clothes off. Her clothes were neatly folded. She had all of her jewelry that she was wearing tucked in a little pocket to keep it safe. So, and she was in her underwear at this point and a shirt. Okay, we know that because her clothes were found folded up beside the bed, neatly. We know that Susie went and got a Pepsi, and it was still cold the next morning. Here's the car. One of their cars. That's probably Susie's car. In front of the house. And then we'll give you another look. This is in, no, it's in Missouri, Laura Lee. It's in Springfield, Missouri. So that's both of their cars in the driveway. And then we'll see where Cheryl parked her car, which is right here in this little garage. In fact, let me just do that one. So the next morning, Janelle Kirby and her boyfriend were waiting on them to get ready to go to Whitewater, water park. So they started calling Susie's house at 8 o'clock in the morning, constantly. Nobody answered. So they went down to their house. The door was unlocked. Janelle walked in with her boyfriend. There was the bulb of their front porch was broken, and I'll show you that. And her boyfriend, little Janelle's boyfriend, said, let me just get that up because, it's broken glass. Let me get that up for him. And he did, put it in the trash can. Cinnamon, there's two different stories. Either Cinnamon was locked in the bathroom or shut up in the bathroom, or Cinnamon ran to him. It's two different stories, and I can never find out which one was which. But the dog was agitated, was the words used, agitated. So I'm thinking, well, yeah, if you don't know the dog and you're in the dog's house, you would be agitated. But there was a psychic. Hey, Holly Dolly, shit you not. There was a psychic that said she could communicate with Cinnamon and find out what happened. The fuck? What? Oh, okay. We're going to do that. Oh, all right. So let's turn my little page here. Let's see, 8 a.m. 11:30 is when they came down. They didn't even go to Whitewater at that point. They came over at 11, and that's when they saw the globe to that light was broken, but the bulb worked. The cars were there, closed. They started getting phone calls while they were there. Hey, Daphne, they started getting phone calls, and Janelle answered them, and they were like, sexually charged phone, whatever, like dirty phone calls. And she got about 2 or 3 of them while she was there, which is weird. So I found out today, what I was teasing, I found out today is Janelle and her friend, boyfriend, whoever, ended up going to Whitewater. They did go to Whitewater. But when they came back around 6, there was still nobody at their house, at the house. So that's when, let me make sure I got everything. Yeah, the thing was, all right, belongings were there. Oh, so all right, I'll show it. Let me just show it. All right, here is McCall's mother and 2 older sisters outside of the house. That's the detective. Would be, let's see, this all happened on the 7th. They disappeared in the early morning of 7th. This was the 8th. And I know this because when the cops we'll get there. When the cops got there that night, the night of the 7th, that house was full of people. You had McCall right there, Miss McCall, her 2 daughters. You had Janelle Kirby and her boyfriend. You had Janelle Kirby's parents in there. Assorted friends and relatives. That house was full, and they had approximated that between 10 to 15 to 20 people had been in and out of that home that day. No crime scene. That crime scene gone. Susie's TV was on, but Susie had trouble sleeping, and she would leave the TV on. And I know a lot of people do that. So we got the prank calls or whatever, dirty phone calls. We've got the dog. We've got the broken light over here that everybody. I'm going to show you. Look, this is a teenage girl's room. All right, this is a teenage girl's room. That's her new waterbed. She got a waterbed for Susie got a waterbed for her graduation, and there it is. In all its glory. I'm telling you, I know a teenage girl's room when I see it. This is Cheryl's bed. Cheryl apparently had been reading a book because when if you read a book, she laid the book down over here, like on the bed. Shannon, the pic makes no sense. Well, there's a lot of things that don't make sense in this thing. They don't make sense. Here's the Coke can on her thing. All right, now what I'm going to talk to you about is this. This is another big thing that they found in the house was all three of the women's purses were lined up. The first time I did this, I got to thinking, I don't know, why would all of their purses be lined up on the floor, but nothing was taken because Cheryl had between $800 and $900 cash in her pocketbook. It wasn't taken. Nothing was taken from that home. There was not one sign besides the door, the bulb being broken on the outside. That's the only thing that didn't look right. So there was no fight. There was no nothing. It was three women taken out of the house in the middle of the night. Now, I'm going to show you the pictures of here's the purses. And you'll see a step right here. All right, let me see. Hold on. There we go. All right, so you see this is a step. And I'm thinking, why the hell? Where's steps in that house? It's a one floor thing. But here they are. Here's the wallets. Now, I don't know if the police took the wallets and did that. I don't know. I know the girls bound to have had graduation money. If they were going to Whitewater the next day, you had to pay to get in. So, but nothing was taken. So I don't know if the police did this with the wallets or not, because it's not anywhere that I could find. But there they are lined up. If you had just come into a room, did Cheryl drop her? Would Cheryl keep her pocketbook in her daughter's bedroom? Because I'm going to show you where this room is. Why would Cheryl drop her pocketbook in the floor of her daughter's bedroom? It made no sense. But yeah, she had $900 in her wallet. It was not taken. They could find nothing that was taken. But I'm going to show you this little house. I want to show you something else too. I'm going to show you this. You see this right here? This is Cheryl's bedroom. Right here. And there's a window open. There's a window open. This is obviously the day. This is the 7th, maybe the 8th, but there's a window open. That's really not anywhere in the records or anywhere else. Why was that window open? I don't think somebody went there and opened it, but there it is. Never mentioned in anything. Nothing. I've listened to the policemen who showed up that night at 9, 10 o'clock on the 7th. They weren't called. McCall's mother called them at like 9:30. and that night of the 7th. And that's when the first policeman got there. I listened to him just a little while ago. Never mentions his window open. Well, I mean, there's no reason for it to be open. So I don't know. But you look at this house and you think, man, that is a small little house. Well, let me show you. Let me show you something, ladies and gentlemen. That's a big ass little house. That is a lot of room. And I'm going to show you the Zillow room. I'm going to show you the Zillow room by room. I got like a kind of a couple of shots of different rooms. Hey, Southern, what are you doing, Southern Mimi? So this is obviously taken the day or the day after, right? So you have the 2 cars there. Now this was on the east side of town. So if you were to blow this house back up a little bit more, there are some businesses around it. I think this right here, over here, this is some kind of business, and I can't remember it. But that's, here obviously you take away those 2. Yeah, this is the garage. That's quite a big house. So we're gonna. I don't know why I showed you that, but enjoy it. I don't know why I took a picture of this, and I don't know why I put it up here on the thing. So let's go in the house. Oh, here's another shot of Susie's room. Again, typical teenager. Absolutely. I have one or more times had to go into my child's room with a respirator on and a hazmat suit to see if I could, find some glasses. So here's the house from the inside. There's inside, obviously, the front door. And then I just want to show you the scale of it. It's, it's a pretty good sized living room, I think, anyway. Here's the bathroom right here. Can y'all see? Let me see. You can see my little thingy. That's the bathroom. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house. Here's the kitchen. And the reason I always think these are important is because if you in your mind right now are imagining how somebody or somebody's got these women out of this house, I want to know what the house looks like. So I had to go Zillow it. Yes, from that home. Holly, yes. All healthy. Hey, Roundhouse. All healthy girls, I mean, Cheryl was healthy. The 2 girls were healthy. Here's a little bit of the dining room with these doors out here. Now, I don't know. I think this is the master bedroom. This would have been Cheryl's bedroom. So this window right here is the one that would have been open in her room. That is never mentioned. It is never, ever mentioned. So that's that. I can only assume that is because it's the same window. So it's got to be the bedroom. Here is the second bedroom. This will be off to that side, on the same side of that house over there. Now, here's a little room built down off the side of the house. Not bad. If you look right here, where my pointer is, you can see the steps where the pocketbooks were sitting. This was Stacy's room. So there's where the pocketbooks were sitting. I just can't figure out how it got. I know. No one can. You know what, Brantley? They're not really all that recent. And I made sure that, like, this room was absolutely that. I do that when I've got. I look at my phone because I'm answering your chat, but it's over here. This room was obviously there. This room was already there. And to what I could see, there hadn't been a whole lot of, refurbishment going on. But this is where the pocketbooks were sitting. When you go, and if you look right here, you see the refrigerator. So this is off of the kitchen. And you have French doors here. And then let's look at the back. Here's the backyard. This was a nice house. So once the word got around, and I'll go back up to the house because I want y'all to look at this house because, okay, so the word obviously got around, right? Town, they were like, these 3 women are missing. Well, then you start having people who have seen them. Notice I'm making a face. So, oh Lord. We have one person that is up, I guess, up the street, working at a convenience store. And he claims that in the very early morning, he saw Cheryl Levitt come and look around the convenience store and gas pumps for Susie and Stacy. Never been verified. So if you can't verify it, it's a non-issue. It's a non-issue. So on the 9th day, this happened on the 7th. On the 8th, obviously the police came in. The 9th, the FBI came in. They called the FBI in on it. Couldn't tell you if there's any records of any FBI, like we had last week. We had the FBI having 163 pages of something on a kid they said was dead, that died the night that he went out, that he went missing. For some reason, redacted for 50 years and released, on the 50th year, redacted as well, withholding 30 pages. So I don't mean to be, I'll just not say anything else. So then somebody said, listen, I saw them in a van, in a beat up old 1969, 1970 van. I saw Susie driving it and crying. And I heard somebody in the back say, don't do anything stupid. So what did the police do? Because they put so much into this unsubstantiated sighting, they find a van, a green van. They actually found a van and had it painted this color, even though only one person said that they saw Susie in it. And they parked that outside of the police department for a long, long time to jog people's memories. What? Oh, okay. Guess what? Nobody did. So I'm going to stop and I'm going to come back over here. And I'm going to see, hey. All right. At this point, do we have any theories? I'm just wondering. Exactly, Rain. I mean, to find a van like that and have it painted that color and set it out for, even though only 1 people saw it, then somebody said, oh no, 3 people said they saw it. Okay. It was in the area. They said, oh, it was in the area. Then they said, oh, a transient. What is a transient going to do with 3 healthy women? He's going to kidnap and do what? He's transient. He doesn't have he doesn't have a car. He doesn't have anywhere to live. So I don't think the transient is one either. Thank you, Halloween baby. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do. So we knocked it. Yeah, the transient went off the thing. Oh, I forgot. There's a little place they go to. It's called let me see. George's Steakhouse. Here it is. Cheryl and Suzanne love this place. It's right up the street from them. So, and it's 24 hours. It's open 24 hours. So a waitress said, listen, I waited on them sometime between 1 and 3 a.m. And Susie looked really drunk. And they were trying, and Cheryl was trying to calm her down. And yeah, that's what happened. Nobody else saw them. She couldn't produce a receipt or a whatever. So no, that's another one. Rumor has it these parts that they were roofied. There are so many. There's so many rumors. We have a lot of suspects. We have a lot of really gross suspects. But when I start to, like I said, I could have said it and read off their whole criminal history. There's a lot of murdering going on. There's a lot of raping going on. There's a lot of kidnapping trying to go on with these people. All of them. Hey, Miss Christie. I was thinking maybe they came in through the French doors, but after seeing the picture of the house, yeah. Was Cheryl being attacked when they came in? And when I say attacked, and then they just said, Mom, we're here. And she's like, okay, because that's your daughter, and you don't want your daughter in none of this, right? And so the daughters and her friend are taking their makeup off, and you're just praying because you're Cheryl, and you're being, you've got this guy. You just pray that he leaves them alone. But they pulled in and seen an open window. I would think, but maybe not. I don't know. It's the first thing I would notice if I pulled in my house, if there's an open damn window in my mom's room. The theories are that the person was known to them. It had to be. They had to be known to them. Because I feel like one of them had to know there you go, Sarah. But yes, that's the thought, that at least one of those girls knew the person or persons that were in that house with them, that took them. Some might even say they were trusted by, one of those people were trusted by one of the three. And again, why? In a lot of these people that I'm going to read to you, I'm not even going to say it's easy to kidnap one person, but it's a whole the hell lot easier than doing three. I mean, Oceantide, it is the strangest. It's not the strangest because I've got another one that's just as bad as this. Has 3 girls went missing and there was nothing, never been nothing. So all right, so then they showed the story on America's Most Wanted. Oh, so somebody called America's Most Wanted and gave a tip, or gave them something that let them know this person knew more or knew what he was talking about. So they went to forward them over to the police, because when you do the America's Most Wanted, the cops are right there in the studio. And so they were forwarded over to that phone and the guy hung up. Now, they know, let's see, where did he go? I think he was in Alabama. They knew if they traced it back to Alabama around something, I can't remember. But so he knew something about it. I told y'all, at least one of those women knew one of the people that 2 of the original investigators have retired, but they both believe that they have spoken with the person or persons that are responsible for this, meaning they don't have enough. They're pretty sure that these girls knew, or Cheryl knew. The liability of taking, if you only want to take one of the people, and the liability of taking 2 more people out with you is stupid. It's stupid. I mean, I know they're dumb, you know. Another thing that I really did upset Miss McCall, Stacy's mother, is that hey, little Kimmy, she was in her underwear. What that upset her a great deal. And it would me too. She said Susie was not, I mean, no, sorry, Stacy was not the kind of girl that would go out without makeup on. She wouldn't do it. And she damn sure wouldn't go out, obviously, in her underwear. So let's talk about the suspects. And like I said, I'm not giving you a full runner. Y'all can go look. There's a lot of history with these people. Again, the glass globe is brought up 150 times. People said, "Oh well, you know, they wanted to break the glass dome so you know whoever couldn't see them when they knocked on the door." You didn't break the bulb. So I don't know what that is. I don't know. The police went and got the stuff out of the trash. And we've never, you know, that's the only piece of evidence they have. And don't even know if that's how it happened. Exactly, Ocean. Oh, sorry. Hold on. I don't know how people do this and talk for hours and hours and hours and don't get. I don't know how y'all do it. All right, let me see. Dodge van, blah, blah, blah. We talked about the Dodge van. They would not leave this Dodge van alone. And it's crazy. And I hate it. All right, I need to put this right here. All right, so we're gonna okay. So there is a reporter. Let me get her name. Kathy Bard. And Kathy Bard, here she goes. Kathy Bard had a psychic call her up because you all know in all of these mysteries, psychics are always there. She had a psychic call her up and tell her that the girls, the women, the ladies were buried on the east side of the Cox Hospital parking garage. So what she did was she went and got a I don't even know what you call them. I don't know, a structural engineer, and he did ground penetrating radar and found 3 anomalies. 2 were together and 1 was like this way. So it was 1 and 1. But then Kathy Bard said, "Wait a minute." So the city was like, "We're not digging up this damn parking garage. It was built in 1993, which is a year after these girls went missing. We're not doing it." You know, I hope it's not them, but trying to take the globe off and screw. Yeah, now see, Holly, that's funny you should mention that because I used to have a globe that was so hard to get back on and off, and I would almost drop it when I was changing the light bulb. I hated that damn thing. So, like I said, they 2 parallel anomalies and 1 perpendicular. Law enforcement would not do it. They said no. So Kathy Bard then interjects herself into all of this. Kathy, I'll put it out in here. Kathy interjects herself into all of this. You can't see me. Where am I at? Where am I at? I don't know what I'm. Oh, sorry. There you go. All right. Yeah. So she said she was getting death threats because of all the attention that she was given to this. Right. Right, MS, but they refused. They flat out, no, we're not doing it. I don't even know if they looked at the whatever they have. I don't even know if they did that. They weren't going to do it. So Kathy says, "I'm getting death threats, but I know exactly who killed these women and where they are." Yes, because if I'm getting death threats about handling this case, I'm going to tell everybody I know who did it. But I found something from her yesterday, and it was from the, let's see, 2000 and something, 2002, 2003, where she is named another suspect. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, you said you knew back then. You don't know now? Okay, Kathy. Yeah, she crazy. So here's our suspects. We're going to go in no particular order. All right, Robert Craig Cox. If y'all want to, this guy's the luckiest criminal that ever lived. And he's connected to this case, and I'll tell you how. In December 1978, Cox and his family were in Disney World in Florida for vacation. A woman named Sharon Zellers never made it home from her job at Disney World. 2 weeks later, her car was found abandoned in an orange grove, and the next day her body was found completely submerged in a sewage lift station near the grove. She had to be ID'd through dental records. She died from blunt force trauma. She had been bludgeoned 14 times in the head and likely survived that for 20 to 30 minutes before she died. So police run into 19-year-old Robert Craig Cox, who was vacationing with his family. Here's the thing. They found evidence. They found chest hairs in her car that matched Mr. Cox. He went on trial for the murder. He was convicted of the murder. He was going to be on death row for the murder. But then an appeals judge said, you don't have enough evidence, and threw the whole effing case out of court. So that means Robert Cox was released. That's at 19. Let me flip my page dramatically. You ready? Hold on a minute. That was in 1978. The first murder that we know of. So he said, because he was really fucked up. I mean, I think she put up a good fight. He told the police that a big old black man had punched him at the local skating rink, and that's why he was all full of, all tore up and beat up. No, they found 3 of his hairs. I'm gonna get typo blood. He has typo blood. Typo blood was found in the car. Guess who does not have typo blood? Miss Zellers did not have typo blood. Anyway, so yeah. Then so he got out of there. Then he tried to, in different cities and states, tried to kidnap more people. Well, Mr. Cox moved in with his brother in Springfield, Missouri, around 1992. He was probably there a little bit earlier. So he was in Springfield, Missouri in 1992. He had a lot of jobs. He actually worked with Stacy McCall's father at a car lot. And then he became a utilities worker. How do you get 3 people out of a house fast? Gas leak. We're having a gas leak. Come on, can't wait. You gotta get out. Then for in Texas, armed robbery, and then he held hostage a 12-year-old. This was in Texas after he left Missouri. He was convicted of armed robbery and trying to abduct a 12-year-old, holding her hostage so he could get into someone else's. There are more murders, though. So, like I said, if I spent we would be here 3 hours on these rap sheets. Now, in 1996, Robert Cox was pretty full of himself, and he claimed that he knew what happened to the women. He knew where they were, who killed them. And he would not reveal that information until his mother died. I don't think that bitch's still alive, but anyway, she might be. So he has claimed that he knows who did it. He was in Springfield, Missouri. He never said he did it. He just said he knew who did it. He knew they were dead. He knew where they were. The police, get this now, the police. This wasn't an interview he had with the cops. This was he had with a TV station. So the police, I guess while that damn stupid van was still sitting outside of their headquarters there, because one person said they saw it, the police got the interview, took it to the grand jury to try to get charges, and the grand jury would not do it. So the police, instead of talking to this dude, said, I need that interview. We're taking that interview. And they took it to the grand jury, and the grand jury did not drop a charge. But I mean, that's all you have, I can see why they wouldn't. That's why I'm saying he's the luckiest son of a bitch ever on earth. Got out of a death penalty case in Florida. Possibly could have been, charged with the abduction of these three and murder of these three women. And the grand jury said, "You bringing me something from, WKT2? I don't know what the hell that is." All right, so we have not talked about Bart Streeter. Bart Streeter was Cheryl Levitt's older son. He was about 29, 30 years old, like that. He was 10 years older than Susie. That family had exploded. I'm going to say imploded. They had exploded. Bart was a pretty aggressive alcoholic. And Cheryl said, "You can't, because you can't live here with us. You're an alcoholic. You can't live here with us." So he went and got his own apartment. She even mailed him his birth certificate. He took that very out of an aggressive mood. If you have children that are over 18 and especially 30, and you're holding all of their documents, it's time for them to hold their own documents. Here's your birth certificate. I can see why she did it. And maybe not have been at their best time ever, but his alibi that night was he got drunk and passed out, and he lived alone. Talking about somebody that you trusted or somebody you knew. But why would a drunk? Bart doesn't make good decisions when he drinks. And I'll let you know how. So he's always cooperated fully with the police. He took a polygraph test. I mean, so he's not, But in 2000, Bart was living in Vegas, and he was charged with attempt to kidnap and use coercion or force. So he tried to kidnap somebody. And he pled guilty. 2019, Bart is arrested in Smyrna, Tennessee on suspicion of public intoxication, disorderly conduct, and attempted false imprisonment. He entered a nail salon, pretended to be the grandfather of a 15-year-old girl in that salon, and tried to make her come with him. She did not. Another with the abduction. And this is afterwards. There is a Streeter family page, and he ran it for a long time. And there's a big, huge, I could read it. It's a big, huge statement on there that he made after all this shit happened. He now doesn't run it anymore. His daughter does. Yeah, Holly Dolly, this is weird. But I ain't done. But I'm not done. Steve Garrison. Now, I couldn't get a good picture of Steve Garrison. In fact, let me put this picture back on somebody. I don't know. I could not get a really good picture of Steve Garrison. I don't know. I just wanted a better picture or a happier picture than this. I'll put it on. Steve Garrison. This is another one with an extensive, horrific crime, whatever there. So he's currently serving 40 years for rape, sodomy, and terror of a female college student in Springfield in 1993. Garrison, like Cox, provided police with information, may it be true or false or whatever, a sick attempt at attention. But let me tell you what happened. Okay, I'll wait. So he's told the police he knew what happened. He knew where they were. So the police, going on his information, obtained 3 search warrants. 2 for a site in Webster County, which is to the east of Springfield. And they dug. And he told them that they would find the 3 women, and they were going to find a big old piece of that grain van that had been buried. Okay. So they did that. He said that the woman would be found 12 miles, from the site of the piece of the van. Now, remember this: the police were heavily invested in that green van. They had pinned all of this. The key to this case was going to be that green van that one person saw. That one person saw. So, but they didn't find the bodies, obviously. I don't know if they found the van, and I'm going to tell you why I don't know. Because police at that point, Garrison had given them a piece of evidence, or a piece of the story that only they knew. They had not released it. And Garrison said, listen, I was at a party, my drunk friend, everybody was drunk. The guy told me exactly what he did with the women, and all that. So they took whatever they found in that pit, whatever they found there, and whatever Garrison told them. And they a judge issued a gag order in 19th. I didn't write it down. Sorry, I didn't write it down. But in the 90s, they issued a gag order, which is still in place to this day.
In like a cool way.
That's right. It is still in place today. Why are you releasing a gag order on a case, and you've got this dumbass who could very well have either lucked out and gave you the information, or maybe he didn't know? But a gag order? Has that been working for you, Springfield Police Department? Because I don't see this thing being solved yet. I'm just asking for a friend. So, Garrison got something out of that. He got attention. That's what Cox got out of this. But, apparently he knows who the killer is. If it's him, they're not arresting him. So I have some stuff too here that, okay, so Cox is a sadist with the history of violence, who was in the area at the time. Then you have Bart, who has a history of substance abuse and making really bad decisions, including wanting to kidnap people. And then you have Garrison, who knew information about the case, so much so that they put a gag order on the whole thing. Cox revealed no information about this case, only that he knew what happened to him. Streeter is really too sloppy to be the mastermind of this, because you had to have somebody that knew what they were doing. I don't think you could luck out and control 3 women at one time. I don't think you get lucky with that. Either you know or you don't. Garrison again pointed police to, I mean, it's unviable. We don't know. I'm not done. Well, I guess, you know what, Deborah, you might be right. It might have, been. Here's what I know. If you put a gun to my daughter's head, I will do anything you tell me to do. Anything you tell me to do, so you don't hurt her. Anything. Did that happen? Were Stacy and or Susie and so scared because they had a gun? If I'm the mother and the gun's to my head, I'm gonna tell y'all to run. I'll just die. Don't worry about it. But Susie had some boyfriends that weren't so great. One of them is Mike Kovacs. Now, she dated him for 2 years. Mike Kovacs admitted to striking her when they first started dating, admitted to abusing her a lot. In September of 1991, they broke up. October 23, 1991, Streeter was granted a restraining order. She claimed that he beat her, slashed her tires, threatened her by phone, harassed her at school, home, and work. Susie and Cheryl filled out the police report for Mike and another woman that was helping him. And her tires get slashed for a second time. Police say that Susie was so scared of Kovacs that she would have somebody walk her out to her car at night. Well, he sounds like a little asshole. Then you have her boyfriend, her second boyfriend. I've entitled these The Grave Robbers. That's right, The Grave Robbers. Dustin Reckla, Michael Clay, and Joseph Rydell decided they were going to break into a mausoleum and steal gold teeth, gold fillings, and a couple skulls. I mean, who doesn't do that? Rydell was brilliant enough to take the gold fillings into a pawn shop and tried to pawn them. Didn't work. Now, Reckla also had connections with the Galloping Goose Motorcycle Club. And that club is known for violence. So Cheryl was going to have to testify because they apparently used her car, the boys. And Susie was going to have to testify because she knew what had happened. So would this give these 3 an excuse to go in and kidnap them and kill them? Well, no. And I say that because the Joseph Rydell had already turned on the other 2 real quick. And the other 2 boys fell right in, and they admitted what they did, and they got probation. So it wasn't like they were looking at 10 years in jail. They were looking at probation. But that would be the next 3. So the next 3 possible. All right. Now we come to Gerald Carnahan. Gerald Carnahan was, again, like Robert Cox, someone who was a predator. He kidnapped, he raped, he killed. Yeah, I know, right, Alan? And he lived. Springfield was a happening place back. There was a lot of murderers in this town. He was one that had, he raped and murdered a woman named Jackie Johns. He went unpunished for 25 years because they didn't have DNA. And the minute that they had DNA, they found a little minuscule thing of DNA in the evidence. When I say they didn't have DNA, I mean at the time they did not have the technology for DNA. 25 years later, they got this little speck of DNA from the crime, and that's what he was convicted on 25 years later. He also attempted to kidnap a young woman in 1993, and he pled guilty to burglary, arson, and in a separate incident. There is no evidence that he knew these women, but if you got the abduction and you got the murders, we have to. Now here we go with this. This is the last one. Oh, y'all ain't gonna believe this. I saved the best for last. Larry and Gary Hall. I don't believe I put a photograph of them in, but I could be wrong. I don't think I did. They were twin brothers, obvious. Well, then it's not obvious, is it? They were twin brothers. Here's this Robert Cox guy. Well, I can't believe it. There's a lot of bad dudes in this, I know, right? Larry and Gary Hall, twin brothers. They were suspects as well. They were looked at. They were a team of serial killers. Larry had been proven he killed 2 women. His brother would help him. He said that he had killed 15 to 39 women. And then he recanted all of that. But then the police looked at him and his brother and figured out that it was, let me see, I got that number right here. It was between, he said 15 and 30. They said between like 30 and 50 that these brothers had killed. They would roll around the country in Civil War reenactments. Because they had the beard, the big old mustaches, and that's what they enjoyed doing besides, killing and pillaging and raping people. Now Gary confessed to stalking one of these women, and they owned a Dodge van, same make, same color. So that's another one. But they don't even know if they were in the area. They had been in the area, but they didn't know if they were in the area at the time. And the thing is about, and I don't know if y'all knew this, the thing about twins is twins have the same fingerprints and they have the same DNA. I don't know if y'all knew that. So if one twin kills and murders somebody, they don't know which twin did it unless one of them says it. They have the same fingerprints and the same DNA. I thought that was amazing. I think I heard that a long time ago, and that's where we are. And I'm going to show you one more thing because here is a garden. The ladies' names are on this bench in a park in the middle of Springfield, and it is the Victims Memorial Garden. And here it is again. And that's just somewhere that people can come and sit. This sign right here. This sign is on the door of a bar in Springfield, Missouri. Yeah, identical twins, Holly. The owner of this bar said he would not take this sign down until those girls came home. And you see the state of it. It's been a long 31 years. And he's kept his promise, and there it still remains. And then we just come full circle and come back to the frozen faces here on this sign that went out. This was, look, they were on billboards, they were on businesses, they were everywhere in Springfield for years and years and years and years and years. And then slowly they've come down. The billboards have come down. Obviously the signs have come down. And you have a city that, in the beginning they said it was just everybody was so anxious because you didn't know what was going to happen. If you could take these three women out of their house, what was going to stop somebody from taking you? So I can imagine for a lot of years, and it wouldn't even be like warning your girls about it because you don't know who. You be careful. You don't want to be like Susie Streeter, and I don't even know if that's what you would do because you don't know what happened to them. You don't know that they didn't make a bad decision. They came home. So we come full circle. There's a lot, Halloween, baby. It's a lot. And I wrote these. This was from my original notes from like over a year ago. And this little question is one of them is did they come through the front door? We don't even know that. That window is open that we saw. I showed y'all the window that's open. Did they know him? I have to wonder, did they know him? I don't know what you would do. Could one person contain three people? If he had the gun on the right person, he could. I think. Is that the Menendez brothers? Now they're not identical twins, but it sounds like these ones right here. They need a title. And they're butt ugly too. I can't believe I didn't put the picture up. Butt ass ugly. But yeah, what a great twin brother killing machine there would. No, they heard nothing, Rain Girl. They heard nothing. Nobody knew anything. There was not a peep. None of the neighbors saw anything. So if they got home at 2:30, let's just give it to them 2:30. They got out. They got something to drink, whatever. They washed their face. They changed their clothes. So what is that? 30 minutes? I'll give them 30 minutes for that. Thank you, Lorelei. Thank you. So say by 3 o'clock in the morning, they were getting in bed. So from 3 to 8, so there's 5 hours there, that you could play with, not knowing when they actually were taken out. 5 hours. And we know it's 5 hours because Janelle started calling at 8 o'clock in the morning and there was no answer. So they were gone. Again, with the pocketbooks. I can't stop with the pocketbooks. That's not the way women do things, especially if you have $800. So we would have to believe that Cheryl threw her pocketbook down with $800 to $900 in it in the floor of her daughter's bedroom, who wasn't coming home that night, and went on about her night. And then the girl said, "Oh, there's Papa's pocketbook, throwing it down." It doesn't make sense. We as women know that does not make sense. That does not make sense. So they were, and then the wallets we saw, they were all out, but not $1 taken. That doesn't make sense. The window, to me, does not make sense. There was a neighbor that said that Susie, hey, vet girl, that Susie always parked under that garage, and that it was so weird that she was in the driveway. Well, Susie wasn't planning on coming home that night. So I guess Cheryl pulled in there. Was she painting right there? I don't know if she had it in her house. I don't know. I never saw anywhere where they said what she was painting. It, like the armoire that she was painting was anywhere. I never heard that. I don't even know. But she was painting it that night. Where the hell did that go? Or did she do it outside? I don't know. The police, I can tell you this. The sheriff at the time was a micromanaging little asshole. And I say that because that's what they wrote. That girl, you did not have to do that. Thank you. Oh my God. No, the Hall. They were Larry and Gary Hall. Thank you, Vet Girl, so much. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. I forget what I was saying. I forgot what I was saying completely. Thank you, Vet Girl. I love doing these. I should charge y'all. No, y'all should charge me. No, I should charge y'all to come in here. Oh, the police chief. He would micromanage. Well, he would go talk to somebody and just clear them. And the other detectives were like, whoa. We got to talk to him. We don't need to talk to him. I cleared it. Okay. So they would quit. He did not get the job done. We don't have a perpetrator. There was a lot of missed opportunities, I think, but then I don't know. Yeah, Larry and Gary Hall. Oh, that girl. I'm glad y'all like this one. This one's got a lot. It's very frustrating though, because as I'm reading, when I started reading the suspects, I knew I told y'all were gonna go, that's who did it. And then I read another one, you go, wait a minute, maybe they did it. I don't know. I know that Stacy's mother, I've seen her through the years. I do. That girl really do. She's had a lot of heart attacks. She has not given up one day. Not one day. She refuses to have her daughter. Refuses to have her daughter declared dead. Susie and Cheryl were declared dead in 1995. No, 5 years after their disappearance. Cheryl's sister had them both declared dead. Stacy's mother refuses to do so, and I probably would have a hard time doing that too. Now, when I first did this, I was in touch with let me see, was it Relka's one of the boys that she dated. I can't remember if it was Kovacs or the other one, and they got so mad at me because they would, I'm reading this dude's charges, right? The one that basically he's pled guilty to stealing, and they were emailing me every 9 seconds. Just that girl, you need to stop. You need to stop. Thank you very much. I can't. I know Halloween, baby. I don't know what to do next week. But girl, I appreciate you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. I really do. They always make me forget what I'm saying. Yeah. Anyway, I didn't even know him, and I miss him. I don't even know him, and I miss him. Yeah. Here's another one we could do. Now, I'm just gonna say, if you've heard enough of this, hold on. Let me put it in my little folder. And I like to revisit these because Hold on, y'all. If something ever happens to me, thank you, Sarah. I can't bet, girl. You just don't even know right now. You don't even know what you're doing. Changing my life. All right, I have a very similar case that is 3 girls. Hold on. I've done a lot of these things. Okay. If you have had enough, if you haven't had enough of a case like this that is absolutely maddening, I also have the Fort Worth trio that I did do a while back. But when you start to do, I mean, look, this is a lot. This is a lot. And I have to go clean it up because I don't know what I've done. But this is the disappearance of 3 girls again. One, that girl, I swear for you, I love you so much. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm shaking now. It was 3 girls, 17, 14, hey yo mama, and 9. They went out to do some Christmas shopping, some very simple Christmas shopping. And let me find out. I can't remember what year this was. Very simple Christmas shopping. Well, the car was found. The car was found. The girls were never seen again. They made it to the mall. They made it inside the mall. But the car was found outside. I think this was 1974. And literally like this. That girl, I appreciate you so much. I really do. I can't tell you. Anyway, it's another one where they just poofed. And there was a lot of killers in that area too. But we run up on the same thing of, do you risk kidnapping 3 girls when does somebody push the, I don't even know. I know I did these 1, 2 when I did them way back last year. I did them one after the other, and I used to take a lot longer to research these things. I hadn't streamlined it well yet. And now literally I will do in a week what it used to take me 3 months. So I'll be willing to go and clean this up and present it next week. Or I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait until tomorrow. And because there's so many that are so good. And when I say good, should I even say good? That's probably not even what I should say. They're hard. Yeah, why? That's the thing. And with this vet girl, say with our girls here in Springfield, I don't know why they're victims. I can't figure it out. There's no smoking gun, as they say. There's not one of them. Hey, Garb, there's not one of them that did anything wrong. That I know of. I mean, they were just, you had 2 girls that just graduated high school. Do y'all remember when y'all graduated that night? You were so grown up. You thought you were so grown up. I don't have to do that. I'm not. I remember very well. I thought I was grown up. Didn't know dick, didn't know shit, but you got your whole life ahead of you. You're invincible. I remember being invincible as a teenager. And I remember with all my children, I remind them, you are not invincible, baby. You feel like it, but you are not. I'm great. How are you? Hey, yo. I'm good. I'm enjoying these things every Saturday night. I look forward to them. Today, I was like, I was like chomping at the bit. I wanted to get started. I wanted to do it. And I like feeling like that. But by tomorrow, I will figure out which one we'll do next Saturday. If y'all want to do the Fort Worth trio. And again, I have a problem with all those. The Springfield Three. Well, that word three is three women, three human beings that, had everything ahead of them. Everything. Even Cheryl had everything ahead of her. She was, her daughter was going to follow in her footsteps. She bought her a little house. She was going to get, sooner or later get some grandbabies in there. So when you say the Springfield Three, it's like I don't know. I mean, I know it's easy to say, it's catchy. It's what the news did. Then you have the Dallas, the Fort Worth trio. And I always used to get a little offended. That's why I always wanted to let y'all know about these girls, women. Because if you don't know them and you don't like them, you don't really care what happened. Yes, some beach, but I'm getting ready to go. That girl, thank you, everybody that gave me a super chat or a sticker or all that. I appreciate it more than you know. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed presenting it to you. We'll meet again next Saturday night. And we'll do it again if y'all are up for it. We can do it again. I think we've done a lot, though. I need to go count back. We've had a pretty good stretch of these things, Thank you. Yeah. So if you want to hit the thumbs up button on the way out, watcher, baby, how you doing? I love you, Sarah. You tell Aunt Kathy I love her. I love you guys. I really love you guys. I know that a lot of people say that. I love you. I value every one of you. Even like my little people that are snuggled up and not typing. Thank you, because you always show up and you're important to me. And all of y'all are important to me. And we'll just do this again next Saturday night. All right. I'm going to try to go live during the week some more just to catch up, because my mother is good. My mother is so, okay, we have to go for the lung. They have to go in to her lung and do a biopsy of the lung cancer. If her, this is so horrible. If her lung collapses, she has to stay in the hospital. If her lung doesn't collapse, she'll get to come home that night. And then we go from there. She's got on the pill now that takes care of the estrogen, so that the breast cancer that they removed should not come back. Always expect the unexpected. So we really just have the lung biopsy ready for us. Thank you, Texas girl. I appreciate that. I really appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all showing up and participating and being interested in this and these things. I really do. Thank y'all. Yeah, we'll get the date of that. We'll get the date of that biopsy this week, and hopefully her lung doesn't collapse. So it's we're getting it done. We're getting it done. All right, guys. I love you, and I'll see you. I'll see you very soon. Please be safe. All right, and stay warm. I love you. Bye.